been 2 years since the Quebec City mosque shooting, and tonight there are several scheduled events to commemorate the deadly attack. Tonight, our Adrian Harewood is on Parliament Hill, where a vigil is being held to remember the victims. Adrian.
Hi, Lucy. Well, there are probably about 100 people here for this community vigil. This vigil is one of several commemorations happening across the country to mark 2 years of the massacre that took place in Quebec City 2 years ago, in which 6 people were killed. 6 men, of course, died. 5 were severely injured in the mass shooting when a young man opened fire on worshippers as evening prayers were ending. The gunman, Alexandre Bissonnette, has pleaded guilty to 6 counts of first-degree murder and 6 counts of attempted murder. He'll be sentenced on February 8th and faces as many as 150 years in prison. A memorial at the mosque includes photos of the men who died and a book of condolences with somber reminders of the violence. Now, the Quebec shooting, of course, shocked Canadians from coast to coast to coast. It resulted in an outpouring of sadness, remorse, and anger, and it moved many people to wonder what they could do to prevent similar acts of violence. One of those people who was moved was Ryan Slobojan. Ryan is a Pickering resident, and he decided to launch a campaign called Push Back the Darkness. Ryan reached out to the Muslim community, and he helped to organize tonight's vigil, and he joins us now. Ryan, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Ryan, I'm just curious as to how you went about trying to organize this event. How did this event come about?
So it all started the day of the attack. I knew I had to do something to help and support my neighbors who had been targeted. So the day after the attack, I went with my daughter to the local mosque in Pickering, and we gave out free hugs. She was 5 at the time, and we just hugged everybody that came in the door. And we were so very warmly welcomed that it was an incredible experience, and people told us how much it meant for us to be there. And we made so many friends. And from that has grown to this positive movement, Push Back the Darkness, whose goal is to push back the darkness of ignorance and hate with the light of knowledge and friendship.
I'm curious as to why you decided to reach out in that way. What moved you? Because so many people, of course, they're affected by what took place, but they might not take action. You did. Why?
I felt that was important to show through my actions and not just through my words that I was there to support my neighbors. Because if I was to have been targeted, I would want others to show their help and support in some way, to take some meaningful action. And so when I saw that my Muslim neighbors had been targeted, I knew I had to do something because actions matter so much more than words.
What's been the response of the Muslim community to you, to your engagement?
It's been absolutely incredible. Every time we've gone to a mosque and given out hugs, we've been so very warmly welcomed. As an example, we actually went, my daughter and I, to Le Centre Culturel Islamique de Québec, which is the mosque which was targeted a week and a half ago, and we gave out free hugs, câlin gratuit en français. And we were so very warmly welcomed again. We were welcomed by people as strangers to their mosque 2 years after a stranger had walked into their mosque and perpetrated this horrible attack. The warmth and friendship that they have shown is just incredible, and I believe it's an example for all Canadians to follow.
Why is it so important for non-Muslims to become engaged and to become allies?
Well, because this was an attack which targeted Muslims, but it was an attack on all Canadians. Canada is a shared, diverse, and welcoming community. Attacks like this are meant to drive wedges between us. We need to help and support our friends and neighbors because Canada is this fantastic, welcoming place that all of us live in. And so we have to support our friends. It doesn't matter if I'm Muslim. It doesn't matter if I'm any of the other religions, whatever religion you have. It doesn't matter what my background is. I am here in Canada. I have come from somewhere else, as has almost everyone else come from somewhere else.
What do you hope? Yeah, sorry, Ryan. What do you hope tonight's vigil will accomplish?
I hope it will motivate others to take actions because our actions are so much more important than our words. Through actions, even small acts of kindness, we can make a huge difference. All of this started with a hug, one little hug, and it has grown. And so you can take a very small action and have a disproportionate impact. And so that's my hope, to inspire others to take action.
Ryan, it's very good of you to join us. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much. Happy day.
Thank you. Thank you. And of course, that was Ryan Slobojan, one of the organizers of tonight's community vigil. He helped to launch the campaign, Push Back the Darkness. Lucy, there are probably about 150 people here. A lot of MPs have come now from the House of Commons, and they're gathering. They're going to be here for quite a few minutes, just marking the day. I should also note that there is another community vigil, another commemoration taking place in the Outaouais in Gatineau at the Outaouais Islamic Center. And coming up in a few minutes, we're going to have a conversation with Layla Nasser talking about the significance of the second anniversary of the massacre that took place in Quebec City. Lucy, back to you.
Okay, Adrian, we'll check in with you in a bit. Thanks.